back once again with another fresh cut. You are now tuned into the underground. My name is Mbaya. I go by the doctor. Today, what I have for you is a drop fade, a undercut, some people call it. I won't be showing the full process. I'm just going to time lapse it. Otherwise, what you should know is the main focus of this video is the lineup. In this case, he has a cowlick, and not only does he have a cowlick, he has short vertical bars, and there will be, of course, the C cups being kept. So if you're having a hard time with this type of hairline, definitely watch all the way through. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into this. Lost it though, like ended up keeping the baby and running off with it after she had it.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Nuts,
about.
yo.
Yeah, I seen that movie.
She was on there wilding. And now for the main event, of course, the lineup process. So just make sure everything's brushed out, combed out. But before I get into this lineup, we have to, of course, make sure I clean up everything that he does not like. Remember, this is always about client's preference. He has some fuzz, little hairs coming in at the bottom. You know, I can't talk. I have no beard myself. So, you know, he's pretty young. But, you know, I'm pretty much just saving and making sure he's clean. It's something there. He has hair. You know, let him tell it. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do for your people. Keep them happy. Do what they want. It's not about what you want to do. You can recommend, but guess what? Your recommendation can only go so far. If they don't want you to do what they are being recommended, hey, it is what it is. It is client's preference at the end of the day. What you have to say or want to do does not even matter. Just do what your person or your people want, and you should be good. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into this line, starting in the middle, of course. As you can see, I keep it pretty dark just to make sure we conceal that cowlick, which is hiding below. Some of you who know, you know. If you don't, you don't. That is where I step in. That's why I'm here. I got you covered. But definitely work your way out into the vertical bars after you start from the middle. Take your time. I'm going to, of course, play this in real time just so you can see. It's a slow pace. Don't rush. Usually takes me about 5 to 10 minutes, but because of the demonstrational reasons, this video will probably run 15 minutes because I really wanted you to see the process. And of course, his line grows in a very interesting, unique way to where most people end up having this. The hair on the left side, your right, grows forward. The hair on the right side, your left, grows backwards or downward in some cases. It's like a curvature that flows front then back immediately. This is something that I will definitely have to break down in a whole separate video. I got you covered. We can talk about that and how you go about combing or brushing the hair. You have to flow with how the hair grows in order to execute the lineup properly, but that's a whole another story. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and move on from the trimmer that I was using, which was my Stylecraft hitter, equipped with the Wild Hair, the one blade, of course, fixed with the X Pro blade. That combo is crazy, but I like using that for the lineup only. Sometimes removing hair from like the fade or zeroing out, but it's best to just use it on like straightaways. I don't really like it for the C cups. Every once in a while it's cool, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to my protege, which is equipped with a deep tooth cutter X Pro blade, and definitely just, you know, polish that up and really, how can I say, just refine it really on the front, just slightly. But I'm going to go ahead and get into the C cup before I get into the vertical bar. That cheek placement is important. You put that index finger right above the cheekbone and the middle finger right below the cheekbone. It will make sense when you try this. Trust me, this is the easiest process to execute the C cup. And as you can see, I'm doing the C cup first before I do the vertical bar, just because of how short his vertical bar is. And what helps is how you go about this to make sure that the process works out. And as you can see, I'm stretching forward just to get that C cup in. And the reason for this is because of this side of the hair grows forward. And as you can see, when I'm brushing it, it's moving forward. And I keep this pretty heavy just to keep that 3D effect going with the lineup so it looks enhanced. And I'm slightly stretching at the locks up top just to kind of give them a little extra stretch slightly. Not too much, and I'll release just little by little when I don't want to stretch. So you can see me stretching little by little and letting it go just to make sure it's in its natural state. So that way when I do get that vertical bar placed or set in, I don't push back deep. And there's some people's hairlines that are just not that perfect, and you have to improvise accordingly. And not only do you have to improvise accordingly, you have to make sure you are manipulating overhang, which is the case here. I leave a lot of overhang on most of my lineups intentionally. Some people do not understand this process or get it, but I'm not a huge enhancements person. I only do it for those that want the enhancements, but I appreciate a natural line. This is why this is my favorite part. And as you can see on the right side of the head here, the hair flows differently, almost moving backwards. So manipulating the fringe or trying to preserve or keep this hair thick is a challenge compared to the other side. You will see a lot of my clients, whenever I do cut their hair, this is the case. It looks awkward to some, but it's the way that I manipulate my lineup. It is the way that I go about it. This is my technique. This is my process. If you find it helpful, you like this, use it. If you don't, I'm sorry. I apologize. It's just my style. If you don't like it, swipe away from this video. Move on. But again, cheekbone finger placement. Index finger above the cheekbone, right underneath that eye socket. Middle finger below the cheekbone. Isn't that amazing? Simple steps. Follow them, and you will be working miracles, magic happen. That vertical bar and how you go about it really is all determined based off of how you stretch, how you let the skin be relaxed mode, or just keeping the skin relaxed or stretching it out, kind of is a dangerous thing to do because you can accidentally push back or you can possibly hurt your client. But this is why that guide blade, the fixed blade, is important to guide it into a way that will help you allow that cutter blade to work its magic. And that's that. This lineup is complete. All that I have to do now is pretty much do the final touch-ups. In case you are wondering what I used to prep this lineup with, I sprayed a little bit of aftershave cologne fragrance from Level 3. Then I put water on the top of it just to kind of control that hair a little bit and dry out the skin, just to give me enough to manipulate the hair. I'm not really big on holding sprays and stuff like that. The holding sprays are too thick. It's too messy. It's chunky to the point where I don't really want to ever have that buildup be something that somebody has to deal with if they leave the shop right away. And especially somebody young as him, they're going to be scratching. They're going to be touching their hair. It's going to flake up. It'll lift. And I don't ever want to have to put them in that situation. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and apply the razor, make sure everything is evened out. And Whatever the 2 different trimmers that I used didn't catch, the razor blade will. Also, by the way, that combo with the 1 blade on my Stylecraft hitter, as well as my protege with that deep tooth cutter X Pro blade, is one of my favorite combos right now. It is fire. Stylecraft did a thing. That's why I'm rocking with them. Can't go wrong. Anyway, if you found this helpful, leave a comment. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you don't feel like leaving a comment, hit me up on my different platforms. I would be more than glad to answer your questions. You can DM. I respond right away as soon as possible. If I don't get to it that day right away, I'll get to it eventually. Believe me, I got you covered. Not a problem. I'm here to help you have a easy journey and build your skills through this. I don't want to be out here bragging like I am the best, the greatest whatsoever. Like I always say, how does that quote go? The best is subjective. The GOAT is objective. The people call you the GOAT. You call yourself the best because you think you are the best. So in order to be that, you have to be transparent at the end of the day. Be able to take criticism, be able to be that person that can take from that information, or people that are beating you down, you can learn from that, no problem, without being a fragile ego or a fragile person. Don't have a fragile ego is what I'm trying to say. Don't be that person. Don't be weak. Be strong about everything that gets thrown your way, and you'll be all right. I appreciate constructive criticism. For those of you who are watching this, allow yourself to have empathy and some. Okay. Anyway, this is a wrap. I'm gonna let y'all just go ahead and check this out. I'm gonna let this one ride out. I will catch y'all on the next one.